Three women in blue and white, winners of the 1997 Idol Awards, the Sunlight Sisters, K-pop idols by day, demon hunters by night. We know two of their names: Selene, who becomes mentor, Ryu Mi-young, who dies giving birth to Rumi. But the third woman? No name, no explanation. Just a face in a photograph and a gap in the story that the film never fills. The movie gives us fragments. Concept art shows us alternate versions. Fan fiction fills in the blanks. And when you piece it all together, 5 theories emerge that completely reframe what we thought we knew about the Sunlight Sisters. Let's break them down. The Hunter's Mantra: when darkness finally meets the light. For centuries, this has been interpreted as a battle cry. Light destroys darkness, good conquers evil. But what if everyone got it wrong? Here's theory 1. The mantra isn't a promise of victory. It's a prophecy of unity. The only way to achieve true, lasting peace is for a hunter to love a demon. And Ryu Mi-young understood this. The being she fell in love with wasn't a demon in the Western sense. He was most likely a dokkaebi. In Korean folklore, these are nature spirits, morally ambiguous, capable of both help and harm, not inherently evil like a vengeful ghost. This distinction matters, because if Mi-young's lover wasn't evil, then her relationship wasn't corruption. It was her recognizing a truth the hunter establishment refused to see. Not all supernatural beings deserve death. Rumi, the child born from this union, becomes the literal fulfillment of the prophecy. Darkness meets light, half demon, half hunter, the bridge between two worlds. In this reading, Mi-young isn't a tragic figure who loved unwisely. She's a visionary who saw the path to peace and tried to walk it, knowing it would cost her everything. Her mistake wasn't her love. It was keeping it secret, failing to convince her sisters that she wasn't betraying the mission, she was trying to complete it. The prophecy was real, and the Hunter organization had twisted it into justification for eternal war. This theory comes directly from unused storyboards that production staff have confirmed existed during development. In this version, Selene discovers Mi-young's relationship. She confronts the dokkaebi father, blade raised, ready to strike, and Mi-young throws herself between them, and Selene's blade, meant for a demon, kills her best friend instead. The concept art shows it: Selene frozen in horror, her weapon bloodied, Mi-young collapsing. The moment everything falls apart. This version was developed, then cut. They made Mi-young's death ambiguous in the final film, but the framework remains in Selene's character. Every controlling decision she makes, every time she tells Rumi to hide her patterns, every visit to Mi-young's grave where she can barely speak, it's all driven by guilt that has nowhere to go. This is Han, that uniquely Korean concept of unresolved grief and resentment that sits in your chest for decades. Selene embodies it. She can't forgive herself. She can't change the past, so she tries to atone by protecting Rumi, the living reminder of her greatest failure. Her obsessive philosophy, hide your faults, hide your patterns, never show weakness, isn't just about demon hunting. It's trauma talking. She learned the hardest lesson: one mistake can destroy everything you love. If this theory is true, Selene isn't just a strict mentor. She's a woman spending every day of her life trying to earn forgiveness from someone who can't give it anymore.
This is the most popular theory in the fandom, and it has some compelling evidence. In the Golden music video, there's a shot of teenage Zoe holding a Sunlight Sisters records. She's clutching it tightly, almost reverently, and fans noticed, that's not just a prop, that's personal. Here's the theory. The third Sunlight Sister was Korean but born in Japan, just like Shu from SES in real life. She immigrated to Korea, joined the Sunlight Sisters, fought demons alongside Selene and Mi-young. Then the tragedy happened. Mi-young died. The group fell apart, and the third sister left Korea in grief or disgust, moved to America, started a new life. Years later, she married and had a daughter, Zoe. When Zoe's parents divorced, Zoe felt disconnected from her heritage, so she moved to Korea to become a trainee, never knowing she was walking in her mother's footsteps, never knowing she was returning to a legacy her mother fled from. This explains so much. Why Zoe has natural talent as a hunter. It's literally in her blood. Why she was chosen by the Han Moon. Why she feels such a deep pull toward Korea despite being raised in California. And it creates devastating dramatic irony. Zoe fighting alongside Rumi, the daughter her mother may have wanted dead, the two of them forming a bond their mothers couldn't maintain. If this theory is true, the moment Zoe discovers her mother's identity could shatter Huntrix from within. Because how do you reconcile fighting alongside someone your mother tried to destroy? The third Sunlight Sister's absence from the film isn't just a mystery, it's a setup.
Theory 4 positions her as the antagonist of a future sequel, and she fits perfectly into a specific archetype, the dark magical girl, the shadow counterpart who represents what heroes become when they choose dogma over compassion. In this version, she was an ideological purist. She saw Mi Young's relationship as the ultimate corruption of their sacred duty. When Mi Young gave birth to Rumi, the third sister may have tried to kill the infant. Selene stopped her, and she left, not in grief, but in disgust. For 20 years, she's been in exile, watching, waiting, maybe training her own huntress who share her rigid worldview. And then Rumi reveals her demon patterns publicly at the Idol Awards. To the third sister, this is a declaration that the corruption has won, that everything the Sunlight Sisters stood for has been perverted. So she returns, not alone, but leading a faction of traditionalist hunters. Older generations horrified to learn a half-demon has been masquerading as a hunter. This sets up not just a villain fight, but a civil war, a schism within the hunter community that forces everyone to choose sides. The rigid, exclusionary dogma of the past, or the uncertain, inclusive future that Rumi represents. The third sister becomes the face of an entire institutional ideology. And the question becomes, can Huntrix defeat an enemy who believes genuinely that she's protecting the world? At the end of K-pop Demon Hunters, Huntrix defeats Guima. They create a new Han Moon. Everyone expects it to turn golden, the legendary permanent barrier. Instead, something unprecedented happens. The Han Moon transforms into rainbow colors, and Jinu's spirit merges with Rumi's sword. This isn't how the prophecy was supposed to end, and that's exactly why it matters. Theory 5. The rainbow Han Moon represents something the hunter establishment never predicted: true balance. Not light defeating darkness, but light and darkness existing in harmony. Each color of the rainbow represents a different aspect of the spiritual spectrum, from the purely divine to the demonic, all working together. This is the ultimate fulfillment of when darkness meets light. Not victory, unity. And Jinu being bound to Rumi's sword, that's not a tragic ending. It's a continuation of Mi Young's original vision. A demon and a hunter, literally inseparable, fighting together. Jinu gave up his autonomy to protect Rumi, just as Mi Young's demon lover may have done something similar decades ago. But here's the deeper implication. If Jinu's soul is in the sword, he's conscious, he can perceive, which means he might know things about the spiritual realm that Rumi doesn't, including the truth about what really happened to the Sunlight Sisters. The sword could hold memories, not just Jinu's, but echoes of every demon the hunters have faced. And if Rumi learns to communicate with Jinu properly, she might be able to access those memories and discover what her mother was really trying to accomplish. The Rainbow Han Moon isn't a failure to achieve gold. It's proof that Mi Young was right, that the prophecy was always about synthesis, not conquest, and that the future of demon hunting isn't elimination, it's coexistence. The Sunlight Sisters tried to maintain a barrier between worlds. Huntrix created a bridge. 5 theories, 5 different ways to read the silence at the center of K-pop Demon Hunters. Was Ryu Mi Young a diviner who saw what others couldn't? Did Selene kill her best friend by accident? Is the third sister Zoe's mother, creating a tragic connection neither of them knows about? Is she waiting in exile to return as an antagonist? And is the Han Moon holding the truth that ties it all together? The beautiful thing about these theories is they don't contradict each other. They could all be true simultaneously. Ryu Miyang could have been fulfilling a prophecy. Selene could have accidentally killed her. The third sister could be Zoe's mother and a future antagonist. And the Han Moon could be waiting to reveal all of it. The directors have hinted that future installments will explore Rumi's backstory and the truth about the Sunlight Sisters. Sony and Netflix are reportedly developing sequels, which means these theories aren't just speculation, they're roadmaps for where the story might go. We know 2 of their names, we know fragments of their tragedy, but the third Sunlight Sister remains a ghost, present in every consequence, absent from every answer. Maybe she's gone, maybe she's hiding, maybe she's coming back, and maybe we're about to find out which of these theories was right all along. What do you think happened to the third Sunlight Sister? Drop your theories in the comments. And if you want more K-pop Demon Hunters deep dives, subscribe because we're just getting started.